What's going on guys, Mark Fox here, and in today's video I'll be doing a review of the DJI Phantom 4 Pro. Now in my last video I did an unboxing of the DJI Phantom 4 Pro and I showed you everything that you get inside the box. Now with today's video I'm going to be breaking down the review into two different parts. The first being the controller and the second part being the drone. And the reason why I think this is important is because I feel like there's pros and cons to both the controller and the drone itself. So starting off with the controller, the first pro has to be build quality. The reason why I say this is because it has a bit of weight to it, it's grippy so it feels like it's not just going to fall out of your hand, but it also has this metal bracket at the back here that allows you to put it on a surface, and it means that it's not going to get scratched or, you know, bump off the buttons on the back. It also has a lanyard holder here, so you can attach a lanyard. It'll take a bit of weight off your hands when you're flying, and I think that is a great thing. Now my second pro might sound insignificant, but it has to be the phone or tablet holder. Now the reason why I say this is because DJI came out with two versions of the Phantom 4 Pro. A Pro and a Pro Plus. The Pro Plus came with a screen and it just allowed you to use the DJI Go app. With using the phone or tablet, you'll be able to use other custom DJI apps that allows you to get more out of your drone. So I think this is a trend that DJI should continue. My last pro for the controller would have to be the customizable buttons. Now, when you look at this controller online, it looks fairly basic, just the controllers here, buttons here, and then the phone or tablet holder here. But at the back, there's these custom buttons which allow you to assign different functions. So if you wanted the camera to quickly tilt downwards or upwards, or you wanted to bring up the camera settings, there's a lot that you can do with it. And I think it's great because first of all, when you use the controller, you think, oh, this is a bit basic, but when you start using it more and more, you realize how helpful those custom buttons is. For example, when you're coming into land, you can just quickly switch your camera to look down to make sure you're in the right position to land safely. So definitely the last pro of the controller has to be the customizable buttons. Now moving on to the cons of the controller. My first con would have to be it does not ship with a lightning cable. Now this is no problem for Android users because it comes with a micro USB cable, but for Apple users this is going to be a problem because it doesn't ship with a lightning cable. You can't use it straight out of the box. You might have to use one you currently use to charge your iPhone or iPad. But what I did was I went on Amazon and got a 0.3 meter lightning cable by Anker, and what I'll do is I'll leave a link in the description if you want to go check that out. The reason why I think it's great is because it's small, it's really durable, and I haven't had any problems with it, so I definitely would recommend it. So that's starting off the cons. My second con is going to affect a small amount of users, but the fact that there's no HDMI input in the controller as standard is pretty annoying. Now for anybody that got the Phantom 4 Pro Plus, you would have got the HDMI input here, but then for anybody that didn't, has to get an external module that costs over €100 to give that functionality to the controller. For people that are in the film industry, this is going to be quite annoying because if you're on set and you're taking video and another person needs to see what you're shooting, you need to be able to put that up on an external display, and the fact that that doesn't come with it is pretty annoying. So my third con would have to be antenna limitation. Now the reason why I say this is because when I was flying the 3D or Solo, you'd be able to twist off the antennas, put on a stronger antenna, and be able to get a stronger signal to your drone. Now with the DJI Phantom 4 Pro, you can't do that. These are stock. You can't swap them out. Where the only alternative option you can have is put these little mirror signal strengtheners on, and that gives you a better signal strength to your drone. But the fact that there's no way of actually just swapping these out definitely has to be a con for me. My last con is one I didn't think I'd have to add, and that's weak video feed. The reason why I say this is because before I bought the drone, DJI was saying that, you know, the DJI Phantom 4 Pro was using 2.4 GHz and 5.8 GHz frequencies, and that basically meant that if one frequency was dropping, it'd pick it up on another frequency and you would get pretty much seamless video feed. That's not the case in my case, and I've actually seen a few other people online say this as well. So basically you'd be flying, next minute the screen will kind of go a bit green, a bit black, maybe go, you know, disappear completely, come back. So I find that the weak video feed is definitely something that DJI could improve on, but that concludes my cons for the controller. Now on to the drone, the main event. The first pro that I have to say is, again, the build quality. The reason why I say the build quality is the best in this drone is because every other iteration of the DJI Phantom series has kind of had little things they could change here and there. The cables, the gimbal was outside with dampeners and everything like that. And I find that with the DJI Phantom 4 Pro, they've really kind of refined their craft and came out with the best drone that they could possibly make. So I have to say, build quality is number one. My second pro helps in both setup time and safety, and that has to be the quick release props. The reason why I say this is because in previous Phantom series like the Phantom 3, you would have had to have spin-on props that you would have to kind of tighten, but they were self-tightening, so you know, they were pretty much guaranteed to not fall off. But with these quick release props, you kind of push them down, twist them right, and then they pop on and they're not coming off. So I have to say, between setup time and safety, I think I have to give this number 2 on the Pro. My third pro would have to be camera quality. Now I know I've said this before, but 4K at 60 frames per second and 20 megapixel photographs, you can't compare it to any other drone of its size and for the capabilities that it has. And the main reason why you have a drone in the air is to capture great photographs and great videos, and you will definitely be able to do that with the Phantom 4 Pro. Now my fourth pro is going to save a lot of drones, and that is obstacle avoidance. The reason why I think this is so crucial to have in a drone is for, you know, newcomers, the guys that are just buying drones for the first time. You want to know that you have the safety, that you're not just going to take your drone out of the bag, you're going to fly it and you're going to crash it into something and never be able to fly that drone again. The fact that you have your 360-degree obstacle avoidance in this, you know you're not going to hit walls or obstacles that are in your way. My fifth pro would have to be the battery life. Now I know it's not a massive jump from the previous version, the Phantom 4, which had a 27-minute battery life, and the Phantom 4 Pro, which has a 30-minute battery life, but I think every minute counts, especially when you're flying a drone, either bringing it back to home or capturing your footage, or I don't know, anything that just means that you can stay in the sky a little bit longer is always a great pro. Last but not least, the redundancy. Now what do I mean by redundancy? Redundancy basically means that if one part of the drone fails, another part of the drone is there to pick up the slack. Now in this case, in the Phantom 4 Pro, you have an IMU and a compass redundancy. So basically, if one of them fails, the other one picks it up and you can continue flying seamlessly without interruption. Now, this is especially good for quadcopters that need that extra redundancy to make sure that there's not going to be an accident. Now, moving on to the cons. The cons for this drone are quite small, and the reason why that is because it's just such a great drone. It is actually hard to fault it, but nonetheless, we'll move on to them now. My first con for the DJI Phantom 4 Pro would have to be the fact that there's no interchangeable camera. For a lot of users, this isn't going to be a problem, but for some users, they want to, you know, swap it out for maybe a different custom camera, thermal imagery, or you know, IR for plant health, that sort of stuff. So the fact that you're not able to customize the camera and interchange it with a different one is definitely a con. The last of a very short con list would have to be the fact that there's no retractable legs. Now I know in the DJI Inspire series you can get an interchangeable camera, you can get retractable legs, but I think DJI would definitely benefit from giving those features to the Phantom series as well. So that's my review of the DJI Phantom 4 Pro. If you liked the video, make sure to hit that like button. If you have any questions or want to share your own pros or cons of the DJI Phantom 4 Pro, make sure to leave it in the comment section below. And I really appreciate you guys tuning in. Subscribe, hit that notification bell, and see you in the next video.